Jordan Terrell Carter, better known as Playboi Carti, is a 30-year-old rapper from Atlanta whose initial claim to fame came with his breakout hit Magnolia in 2017. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I'm pretty sure if you clicked on this video, you already know about King Vamp, Opium Baby, Playboi Carti. I mean, he doesn't really need an introduction, being one of the biggest, if not the biggest rapper right now. Playboi Carti single-handedly changed what rap music is and what it means to be a modern rapper. But at the same time, no rap song has been in the Billboard Hot 100's top 40 for the first time since 1990. And hey, if Playboi Carti's the new face of rap, is he the problem? The aesthetic that Playboi Carti adopted, both sonically and with his brand image, went from being enjoyable to select few rap fans to now becoming the status quo in today's modern era, especially in the current underground music scene. It's gotten so big, in fact, I'd say it's kind of out of Carti's control at this point, reaching an escape velocity that, although started by him, is much bigger than him. This modern age of rap that we exist in has brought on with it some really interesting things. I think the production of rap music has never gotten this experimental before, but also, weirdly enough, the idea of a new rapper has become very conservative. I'm directly pulling this idea from an Anthony Fantano interview in which he said that the current rap landscape is very homogenous and conservative, and there's this certain habitat that your music can thrive in and you can't really break out of it. I'm gonna add on though that that's all derivative of the aesthetic that Playboi Carti popularized. What was previously seen as something new and refreshing, a change in the status quo, has become one note because everyone and their mom is trying to have that opium aesthetic. You have to have this nonchalantness and this mystique about you and your presence online. You can only post on social media if it's very cryptic. This looks like ambiguous captions following 0 people or like 1 or 2 people, but the Instagram accounts that you follow are like really vague and niche. If you try to leave this habitat where modern music resides, then that can lead to modern rap fans calling your shit corny, coworker music, burger music, which all kind of means the same thing, that you're trying too hard, which I find very funny because maintaining this entire I don't care nonchalant aesthetic requires an immense amount of effort, probably more than if you were to just be yourself. But what does this mean for fans of the underground scene? Are we only going to see this derivative Carti archetype from now on? How do we get out of this, and is this what the future of the genre is going to look like forever? Well, who better to tell you about rap culture than a suburban Persian kid? Let's start with
La música de Harry Fraud.
I'd argue past his breakout hit, the sound and aesthetic of Playboi Carti really became popular to people after his second album, Whole Lotta Red, dropped in 2020. I remember being there on his Instagram live, on Reddit forums, on just like Twitter, anywhere where there was commentary, seeing people fight with each other as, oh, this is so innovative, oh, this is crazy, no, this is ass, clean your ears, this is what we were waiting for. I personally really enjoy the project. I had my whole, oh, Carti clicks for me moment like a year or two ago with Die Lit. Funny enough, I remember trashing it when it first came out, and then I don't know what happened. Something clicked, and next thing you know, I'm out here. I'm on the beat for real. I'm on the lean. Whole Lotta Red was monumental for a bunch of different reasons. It was a pioneer in establishing the now popular rage subgenre of rap, or rage rap, shifting from atmospheric cloud rap that was more laid back and fun to a more aggressive, punk-inspired production. Carti moved away from the baby voice that he was really popular for through implementing more artsy, intense vocal inflections. The whole King Vamp thing came from the gothic aesthetic that he implemented on this project. And this being so different from what was out there at the time made Carti go from being a popular rapper to the most popular rapper with a cult-like fan base. I don't know what was in the water, but like when Carti was performing the Whole Lotta Red era, oh my God, he would say like 5 words on stage and people were eating that shit up. Now, the title of the video says that he's done irreversible damage, but what's bad about all of what I just said? Nothing really. It was actually really unique and fun and interesting. In a vacuum, this was a great example of someone taking a new artistic vision on rap and sticking by it. I mean, you can't say that Playboi Carti did this because it was popular. People, again, were very polarized when this came out. The issue, however, arises with just how successful it was. There's countless examples of works of art that become so popular that they impact culture in a way that the initial creator of that work probably could have never even conceived of happening. This is different than like a couple of people being inspired from an artist. I'm talking about art that gets appreciated so much so that they changed the default settings of what culture is. Kanye did this by pioneering those chipmunk soul sample beats. The Weeknd did this by pioneering dark R&B that had more dirty, melodramatic lyrics. Charlie XCX did this by pioneering the weird punk brat girl aesthetic that brought hyperpop into the mainstream conversation. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy did this by showing what a superhero film can be. I'm sure initially every artist wants to do this because the whole point of art is to connect with people on a deeper, more intimate level. And if you can do that to like an entire culture, then like job well done, right? Well, not really. See, there's a lot of problems that arise when you're just too big. That's what she said. When your artistic input is so big and so widely loved that it sets a new precedent, you, as the person who created that, no longer have agency of what direction that inspiration takes now in culture. You can't quality check what new developments happen because now your input is just one small piece of this giant, larger cultural conversation. Sam Raimi made a really heartfelt and compelling trilogy with the Spider-Man films, but because of how popular he made superhero films, we got a lot of shitty superhero films. The Weeknd made dark R&B really popular, but then came along a lot of copycats who were making bad dark R&B. Kanye would take different parts of samples and flip them and make them into something new, exciting, and interesting. But ever since he made chipmunk sampling more popular, there's been people who've literally just ripped songs and put like a drill beat under them and called that sampling, just to use the nostalgia of the sample to drive streams. And I think although Carti pioneered this rage sound, he couldn't have possibly thought of how big and impactful it was, and how the success of Whole Lotta Red has brought the rap scene into a new dawn of what the internet likes to call rage slop. I realized I could be making this video with no pants on and no one would know. I mean, you don't know now if I have no pants on, and this is just my weird way of telling you. If you're enjoying the video right now, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Follow me on my social medias at Ali Has a Cool Username, and check out my new releases. It would take a minute out of your day, but it would mean the world. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Rage slop is a term used to define a lot of stereotypical traits found in the modern underground rap scene. The term itself is kind of a derogatory name for this subgenre of music. You can think what falls into the category of rage slop is loud distorted 808s, fast-paced synth melodies, hard-hitting drums. Carti never cared about lyrics, but at least he was pronunciating his words. But now people have almost flanderized that by making lyrics an afterthought, more so used to add aesthetic texture or rage by having like a simple chanceable chorus or just like yelling on the mic. And rather than bringing in a new perspective, they will rap about stuff that's very derivative of what a Carti or someone on his Opium label would say. Which, listen, like, we all have inspirations, but some have opted into taking this to another level, where there's people like Netspend and Too Slimy, where like, I'm not trying to be a hater, I genuinely can't understand a word of what both of them are saying in any of their songs. And it's not a problem in like the mix or anything, it's literally just because he's purposefully slurring his words and rapping in a way that's coherent to this nonchalant, I don't care aesthetic. And it kind of feels a bit unfulfilling as someone who appreciates lyrics. And then you have people like, again, Too Slimy, who just takes every single point of rage slop that I talked about and like adds peptides to them. That can be a whole separate video. We need a case study on Too Slimy because I genuinely don't know if I'm going insane when I see that he has 500,000 monthly listeners. If you haven't been blessed enough to listen to Too Slimy, please do check it out and then come back on this video and tell me what your thoughts were. And again, I don't want to be a hater, bro, but I genuinely feel like whenever I listen to Too Slimy, I like take my headphones out and shit starts coming out of them, like that one South Park episode. Moreover, besides the music itself, the world that the music exists in and thrives in has to fit a really tight-knit set of expectations set by the audience in order for their music to be taken seriously enough to listen to. Again, every artist has to be mysterious. This typically looks like them saying nothing of like substance or of like personable in interviews, giving really vague answers, archiving a lot of their Instagram posts, not looking directly into any camera when taking photos, having their dreads or long hair cover their face. Again, these are all derivative of the archetype Carti popularized. And in Fantano's interview that he brought up earlier, he mentioned that this is the only way it seems like new rappers can make it. He argued that Tyler the Creator wouldn't be able to have a career in this modern rap scene, and I completely agree, because if someone like a Tyler the Creator would come out on the scene, he would be called burger, coworker music, corny and a whole myriad of other shit, especially with like the horrorcore music he was making back in the day. But what is my take on rage music? Surprisingly enough, dude, I'm not a hater of rage music. I make rage music. I love seeing artists who make rage music. I saw Ken Carson. I had tickets to Playboi Carti before his show got canceled, and I'm going to see Nine Vicious, all rage or rage slop musicians. I guess more so my problem can be best described using this analogy. If you were to look at the genre of rap as a pond or a lake, and the subgenres being little fish, rage music is an invasive species of fish. And because it exists in this pond, the water is like the perfect temperature, the fish thrives in this environment, it reproduces a lot. And what it also does is that it eats other fish, or at the very least makes the environment for them inhabitable. Unfortunately, long are the days that the underground was able to hold space for all different types of subgenres. Now every genre that's not rage exists in the small sliver of the pond where rage hasn't gotten to it yet. Now that I'm saying it out loud, rage music kind of sounds like the Fire Nation. Carti might be Lord Ozai. So can we get out of this? Can the pond be saved? What does the future look like?
Do you like cheesecake at all?
I love cheesecake. I love cheesecake at nighttime, real late at night. Cheesecake could do, man. Top it up before you go to sleep.
Okay, so I clickbaited the title a little bit by saying that Playboi Carti has done irreversible damage to rap music because, one, I don't consider it damage per se, just a different direction, and two, I don't think it's irreversible, but I still kind of do. Let me explain. We're never going to be able to magically scrub the effects of what rage music has done to the genre. Neither should we. It's brought in a lot of fun and high energy music that people enjoy. Why would we want to annex that from the conversation? The music is out there. It's on people and culture to determine if it's worthy of listening to. And obviously, people have come to the conclusion that it is. And I think, like any genre, if it starts becoming boring to the average listener, then they will go for people who are doing other sounds in the genre. This happened when Kanye came onto the scene way back when the entire rap scene was people in leather jackets and shades talking about gang life and them being pimps. And then you see this one guy in like a nerdy polo come and talk about like his mom and heartbreak. And I think that's going to just happen again to rap music. Here are some patterns that I see and some predictions that I'm thinking are going to take place. The genre is already learning to adapt. Too Hollis is someone who got platformed by Ken Carson, who, if you didn't know, is signed to Playboi Carti. He's really interesting because he's having a similar effect to what Carti did to the rap scene by introducing a whole new sound that was very niche, and now he's made it mainstream with his hyperpop / EDM influence on rage beats. Although Too Hollis isn't like that far off from Carti, again, he does maintain the mysterious aesthetic on his social media feeds, and his lyrics are pretty similar to Carti's. It's still growth and it's still something different. Too Hollis himself has told people to take a more creative leap. Funny enough, I wish he did more by branching out of these tropes of being in the underground rap scene with him being so like nonchalant and mysterious. But his existence in the culture, I think, is a positive indicator on how we're going to be moving forward and how rage and rap can still exist, but become refreshing and different and exciting. Prediction 2, people will get tired of this. This conversation's already happening. There's a statistic about rap music not charting in the Billboard top 10 for the first time in like 35 years. People are saying this is the death of rap, but in my opinion, I just think this is the opportunity for something new that maybe we haven't even discovered yet to take place. Rage music is having its time right now, but I also feel like it's dying. We've seen other smaller subgenres of rap come and go, and I think rage music is no exception. Like there was the Jersey beat era, and then the drill era, and then the sexy drill era, that all have come and gone. Although rage music was bigger than all three of those combined, I feel like we as audience members are going to break out of it eventually. My third and final prediction is that lyrics will come back, maybe. This one might be my most opinion yet, but I do think a big thing that has taken away mainstream ears from rap music is the ability to understand what people are saying on these songs. Lyrics used to play such a fundamental role in rap music. I mean, like, dude, Drake was known as the IG caption artist. A lot of people will quote one line from a rap song, and next thing you know the exact song they're talking about. They're an underappreciated part of the art, in my opinion. And in my opinion, they're also one of the things that give people that intimate connection to the music, and it lasts longer than just the cool sounds and aesthetics of the music. They can sit with you and make you think of a different perspective. So I think if rap were to succeed in the future, lyrics would come back in some fashion. Anyways, man, those are my opinions on how the genre is going to be growing and is going to be looking. Hopefully I'll be a part of that. Again, if you don't know, I make music. I released my third mixtape, EXODIA, last year, and I've been putting out a bunch of singles. So if you're looking for something new and interesting, please do take some time to check the music out. Let me know your thoughts on the entire thing. This has been another Alley video. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.